All right, what's up guys? I just want to talk to you today about my new EDC backpack. It's awesome. I kind of wanted to avoid the whole, super tactical look and just kind of blend in a little bit, so this is what I ended up getting. What do you think? Pretty cool, huh? So stupid. So dumb.
It's so stupid.
All right guys, all joking aside, this is the real new pack. It is actually still low profile, which is awesome. So this is the Vertx Commuter Sling 2.0. I love this pack, it's awesome. I've actually only been rocking this one for just a few days here. I have another one of their bags that I've been carrying every day, which is called their Gamut Overland. That's actually one of their biggest packs. And I've really been enjoying that pack a lot, but I decided to try this one out, downgrade a little bit as far as size goes, and I think it'll fit a little bit better in the long run. It's kind of hard to get used to having less space, of course, but at least for now, it's working out great for me. And to be honest with you, wearing a sling pack's actually pretty new to me, but I'm starting to really like it, so it's great. So once again, I already kind of did a couple EDC videos of what I carry every day on my person, but I wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit today and talk about what I carry every day to work and once again, why I carry it. So as far as the outside goes, obviously nothing really too special. I do have this awesome patch. As you can see, that little guy is actually my spirit animal. He's super rad. So that's all I've got on the outside. So we'll start with the very outside pouch here. So this little pouch actually has a couple kind of buckle connection, like button connections that connect up here, and then you can fold it into itself and have the molly on the outside if you want. If you kind of want to go for more of that tactical look. I like more of the low profile look. So as you can see, the first thing that you can get to, which is extremely accessible, is my headlamp. So I just wrap the strap of my headlamp around those, so it's kind of always the first thing that's right in your face. I really don't carry a whole lot in this pouch. I've got some extra kind of various batteries, some batteries for my red dot, some extra batteries for the headlamp, and then I just have this little screen cleaning kit. And you'll kind of see as we go along, but I actually have kind of a lot of EDC items in my pack for like electronics and stuff like that, because for work and some of the stuff that I do, I actually end up using a lot of electronics. So once again, kind of tailoring that EDC setup to yourself is always the most important. And what do you use the most and why? What is it good for? It's always going to look different for everyone, but that's the fun of it if you ask me. So this pouch here, that's as far as it opens, which I have found to be plenty. It works great. I don't see hardly anyone ever adding this in their little EDC lineup, but I have an absurd metabolism. My freaking body is melting right now, so I always have to have food with me, and I always try to have more than I will ever eat, which some people think is ridiculous, but I'm hungry all the time. Another thing that might be, I guess, maybe a little bit uncommon to people, I carry a shaving kit with me. And the reason for that is, if I maybe wake up a little bit late and I got to eat food on the way to work or whatever, then I've got my toothbrush. A lot of times towards the end of the day, I might be getting a little bit stinky, and then of course, I always work out in the gym after a whole day of work, so I don't want to be making everybody's eyes water, in the gym. So I've got some deodorant with me and all that fun stuff. So moving on to the rest of this pouch. So another little screen wipe there, a microfiber cloth, I guess. A couple pens. That's always definitely important. This thing is really cool. So my buddy invented this. I'm gonna add a link to it for you guys, but it's called the Dslr Clip, and it's for a Sharpie. It replaces the cap of your Sharpie, but it's for use as a defensive tool in non-permissive environments. So airports, courts, stuff like that. You can have a Sharpie. It's got a little clip on it, so you can have a Sharpie, easily accessible, where if you had to, you could of course defend somebody off you, which you'd be surprised how much that hurts when you smack somebody with it. But also, even if you're at the range or whatever and you need to mark your targets, you can just have this really nice and accessible. So it's a super cool little invention. Once again, I will add a link to that And then if you can see, there's another pouch here. So this is where I keep a lot of the extra electronic goodies with me. So this has become one of my favorite little items to have in my bag. And both of my vehicles, I have these things stashed everywhere. It's kind of ridiculous. And this is just a little battery bank for my phone and some other devices. They're phenomenal. They're not very expensive. This is made by Anchor. I get these on Amazon. And just having that extra power so my phone battery never dies, especially once again with doing all this work with electronics, and especially now that I'm getting into videography and all that stuff, I always need to have that power accessible. And I've even gotten to the point, you know, where I live at home, you know, I live off grid, but where I live, I can't really get any good internet, but I can get perfectly good signal on my phone. So I can't get internet for like my computer and Wi-Fi and stuff, but I have good internet on my phone and I have unlimited data. So usually when I'm watching stuff on YouTube or whatever, I'm just using my phone. And what I've started to do, I know it sounds ridiculous, but instead of having to worry about charging my phone, being right next to an outlet, I just have that thing at home. I have an extra one at home and I just have my phone plugged into that. So it's just staying charged while I'm watching YouTube or whatever I'm doing at home. So these things are actually super convenient. Highly recommend you have one, especially if we're talking about, you know, emergency situations and stuff like that. A lot of people don't think about it, but your phone is one of your best friends when it comes to emergencies, because somebody needs to call 911 if you're anywhere in service. So if you have an emergency and your phone's dead, then that's not going to do you any good, right? So a couple more things in here. I've got a little SD card converter thing. This is just the cord and an extra little wall charger. I've got a hard drive, one of these are awesome, these little SanDisk external hard drives. Once again, I know it's kind of redundant, but for what I'm doing for work, that is also extremely useful. And then this is just a little micro SD card converter, and that is it for that. Almost there, my friends. Just a couple more things in here. So I've got a laptop. I don't always carry this with me to and from work. I actually have a personal laptop, and then I have a laptop for work. So usually I have the laptop for work here, and then I have the other one at home. But this laptop has certain programs on it that I don't have on my work laptop and that I can't use. So sometimes if I need that, I got to bring it to work, and vice versa sometimes. So iPad, same thing. I've been working on rebranding here, and I've been working on a new logo for the business, which I'm super pumped about. That's coming real soon. And so this iPad has allowed me to mess around with that stuff. I've got a really cool art program on there called Procreate. It's super fun. It's really intuitive and easy to use. So that's what I've been messing around to make my logo and kind of different versions of it. And then last thing I've got in here is just a little notepad. That's always super important for you know, obviously writing down any ideas that pop in my head or whatever. This is another one of those items like that cell phone charger that I just have staged absolutely everywhere. I have probably 10 of them that I have scattered between my house, my vehicles, my backpack, you name it, you know, in my shop. I just try and always have one where if I have an idea or I need to make a grocery list or something like that, and I know that I need to write it down or I'll forget it, I've always got one nearby. So that's become actually a very useful tool for me. So last thing I'm going to show you guys on this, now that this thing is totally unloaded, this is how it's going to sit on me. It's awesome. I really like the sling idea, like I said, but the really cool thing about these, I'm going to have to pull this zipper down for you guys. So the really cool thing about these packs, I just don't really utilize the feature personally. I'm going to explain why in a minute, but if you need to, you can grab this really big hang tab that hangs off the zipper. You can whip the thing around, and then you can have a firearm stage in there. You can have spare mags, anything like that that you want. And you can also actually stage in stuff like body armor in here, which is really cool. So you could kind of use this as a shield if you really had to in a really sketchy situation, right? So I really like that they have those features. And once again, it's very comfortable, but once again, it doesn't look super crazy tactical, maybe unless you add a bunch of goofy patches like I did, right? But for the most part, it doesn't look super tactical. So you're not going to be standing out in the crowd as a target necessarily or anything like that, but it has those tactical features, which is really cool. So the reason that I don't carry a firearm in there is just because I always have it in my person, and that's just kind of what I prefer. The backpack does not go with me everywhere, but my body does, so I'm always carrying it on my person. Also, I know I'm open carrying right now because in the shop that we work in here, it's a gun shop. So typically we just open carry. We're not very concerned about concealing. But anywhere, anytime that I go, you know, out in the world, if I'm going to the grocery store or the gym or whatever, I have an overshirt, you know, I have a long sleeve button up or something like that that I'll wear over and conceal. So that's the reason for that. The only other thing that I wanted to mention that you're probably wondering is why I don't have any medical in here. Once again, that's an on-body thing for me. I have an ankle medical kit, and you guys are more than welcome to watch my other videos on the EDC loadout for that. But that's the reason why I don't have medical in here. At some point, I probably will add a little bit more because it's always good to have an extra tourniquet, extra Israeli bandage or quick clot, stuff like that. So I probably will, but at least for now, literally anywhere that I go, I at least have an ankle trauma kit that has those essentials. So I feel like I'm pretty covered there. But that's pretty much it. These packs are awesome. They've got this little kind of pass-through thing where you can either put your arm through it, or if you wanted to travel with it, you can stick your suitcase handle through there and stage it like that. So they just have some really cool features. I'm really a big fan of this company and what they produce. And I've been kind of wanting to make this video for a little while. I've just, you know, getting into the kind of carry world, of course, not only just my EDC, but what I carry every day to work and just in general has become really important to me and has made me feel so much more prepared for, you know, any sort of situations. And once again, it's not always that emergency situation. It's just everyday stuff. The other weekend I was actually out hiking, looking for antlers on the ground and doing a bunch of hiking off trail, and I actually ended up hiking pretty far out into the woods. I hiked for about an hour to the rim of this canyon, and I use an app called Onyx, which is really awesome. I'll do a video on that alone another time, but I was using that GPS app, and my phone, you know, was kind of tracking me and showing me where I was, and I had my truck marked so I could of course get back there because this area is really hard to navigate where I was hiking. And what ended up happening was my phone, I think the battery is going bad because my phone went from 55% to about 13% like in 2 minutes, which was really sketchy. So long story short, luckily I had one of those cell phone chargers with me, which kind of let me top my battery off and made sure I stayed on track, which was really helpful because, you know, I wouldn't have gotten lost out there. I'm kind of aware enough to have gotten back to the road, but I more than likely would have been pretty off track, and it would have added another hour at least to my hike to kind of find the car again and all that stuff. And it could have turned into a more interesting situation, we'll put it that way. So once again, I just try and carry stuff that's useful. I don't like carrying a whole ton. I just carry stuff that I use every day and stuff that I think that is also useful in emergency. So definitely share what you think. Maybe share what you guys are carrying, all that fun stuff. The whole EDC world is so fun. It's really cool to see what everybody else is carrying. And hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm going to be changing the logo and the name and everything of this company, so I got some really exciting stuff coming up and I'm super amped about it. And really soon here I'm also going to be selling some stuff online through my website, so please stay tuned with me. It's going to be really fun, and thanks so much for joining me on this journey.